Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Blood on the Mic, the show that brings you all things related to music.
Not all things, like a few things related to music.
Not some things related to music.
We don't really cover like music theory or anything.
Yeah,
we cover shit that we like related to music.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could expand outwards even more. We could cover some classical compositions later on.
Sure, we're gonna have a whole series on Bach and fucking I can't name any other ones.
Mozart. And
I hate classical
Handel.
music, but whatever. So today we're
Debussy.
gonna be talking about new music today, new music of the week.
Yeah, it's today is August 21st, 2020 when we're recording this, and we're gonna talking about just a handful of music, a handful of songs that have come out in the past week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it just came out today, really even. So what do we have in store for us today, Luis?
I don't know, David. What do we have?
So we got some,
one
some
thing I
songs.
want to say that I'm upset about. I might be the only person in the world that uses Google Play Music as their like streaming service, and I just got an email from Google Music saying that they're ending their service.
Yeah, they're just discontinuing it.
Yeah, and they're just like, you can go on to YouTube Music if you want. Like,
Well,
what?
What is that?
I don't even know what the fuck YouTube Music is.
That's not a proper replacement for that.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, now I have a decision. I either have to get Spotify or I have to go YouTube Music. And like, the only thing holding me back from getting Spotify is the fact that, you know, before music streaming was ubiquitous, I had uploaded all my music that I had downloaded over the years. This was in like 2011 or 12. That I uploaded all that shit to Google Play Music. So all the music it's like 100 gigs of music and shit that I just have uploaded there.
Yeah.
And if I don't go to YouTube Music, I just lose that.
You can just download
I mean,
it?
I can download it all, but I'm not going to. What do I want that for? I have music streaming now.
I mean, it's not like you pay for any of it anyway, so.
Yeah, but look, this is when I was a pirate.
Now he's a formal sea captain.
Yeah.
He's a seaman.
Yeah.
But
I've
I've been a fan of Spotify for a while. I can't say I was the first person to listen to like pick up on Spotify, but yeah, I've definitely been following them. At one point, I used to be like invested in their success as a company.
Why?
Because it was back when Apple and iTunes had a hegemony on like the
on music on the internet. And
yeah, and I really wanted streaming to be a thing. I didn't want the industry to try to kill streaming.
Yeah.
And I didn't want Apple Music, for instance, to like take over the market. So I was just really rooting for Spotify because they were not Apple or Google or any of these big companies. They were like a new company.
To be fair, it is cool that Spotify is still a thing, and they didn't just get bought out by Google or Apple or something or one of these other companies that.
Right.
I mean, Spotify basically started all of music streaming.
Yeah.
And you know they stayed true and they became the biggest.
Did they start music streaming?
In earnest.
I mean, at least they definitely got the international prominence.
Because there was short music streaming existed, like, you know, playing music on YouTube is streaming music. Yeah, but like having a whole platform just dedicated to having all music available to stream, that was Spotify.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in Gainesville there was this one company called Groove Shark.
I remember Groove Shark. Was that a Gainesville company?
It was a Gainesville-based company, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, if anything, I should have rooted for them, but before I even graduated from there, I think they disbanded Groove Shark. What a thing. Should have called it, like, Groove Gators, but, you know, whatever.
Okay, well, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
So, new music.
New music. We're going to talk about a few songs today. We're going to listen to them and then give our opinion and whatnot. This first one is from Pharrell Williams. Better known as just Pharrell.
Of the Neptunes.
Yeah, of the Neptunes, and, you know, his production fame.
And NERD, I guess, isn't that just the Neptunes, but with Pharrell?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. And he is featuring, or I would say, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see how much
I haven't
of a
heard
feature
the
it is.
song, but Jay-Z
is featuring Jay-Z. It's
And if you go back, we made an episode of our Blood on the Mic, which is just about Linkin Park and Jay-Z's album that they made in 2005 or 2004.
yeah, and I feel like Jay-Z has come up on one of these new music segments as well before.
I don't think he has. He hasn't really released anything recently.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we just mentioned him. I don't know, very briefly. But yeah, no, Jay-Z over here, Pharrell Williams, entrepreneur. Let's give
Continuing the capitalist rap.
Yeah, continuing this whole segment of capitalist rap, but we'll see exactly how we'll see exactly how it is. All right, let's give it a shot. All right, we just listened to Entrepreneur from Pharrell Williams featuring Jay-Z. And
so I didn't like that.
I didn't like it very much either. I don't know.
I thought that was pretty bad. Okay, there was parts I liked and parts I didn't like. Let's get to the parts I didn't like out of the way. I hated Pharrell on that song. I thought
I didn't know what he was doing.
I thought he was terrible. And it's his song.
Right.
And like, you know, he starts off well, the beat I like. I thought it was cool.
Right.
I like the bass line on the beat. It was cool. It was nice, bouncy.
Yeah.
And the refrain of like black man throughout the whole thing is just going black man, black man. And
Right.
the message of the song was cool, you know, being an entrepreneur and basically like there's a lot about like what's it called? Shopping black, supporting black businesses and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's a cool message. There's been a lot of rap music about that in the past few years. But Pharrell singing on it is terrible. Like, when he comes in singing, in this high register, it just sounds like I don't know what fucking keys and what notes he's trying to hit. It's terrible. Mm-hmm. And then, like, he has, like, whispered parts that are also terrible. Like, everything Pharrell does on the song is terrible. I don't know who told him to do this.
It's yeah, I don't know what he was going for. I thought that the whole song was a little. The song never really took off. I felt like it was too forced in a sense. My issues with the song go a little bit even deeper. The song, I mean, yeah, there is, on the one hand, especially as a person of color, I can understand, you know, there are things that to overcome, and like, you know, black people in this country have not always been able to take out the loans to start up their own companies. They're not always taken as seriously when like they're trying to be entrepreneurial and all this stuff. And then, you know, there's the whole like societal and cultural elements that like, you know, keep things the way that they tend to be. And so I like the message of encouraging folks, but I guess in particular black folks, if you know, care about that that segment of society, that but the, you know, Pharrell and Jay-Z are like two of like the most well-off people in the rap world, right? I mean, maybe not counting like Russell Simmons and a few other people in there.
They're rich.
Yeah. And they're rich guys, and they're over here. It almost, especially when Jay-Z comes in, there seems to be there's a certain attitude that people who've already achieved success have, and kind of like almost like,
why aren't you doing this?
Like, why aren't you doing this? This is. Now, I don't know if they're really saying that this is easy, but like they're.
I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I don't agree. It's like I don't agree on that's what they're saying.
No, I mean, I don't think that's what they're saying.
Because
but
if
like,
you listen to Jay-Z's verse on here, he's saying things like, "If you can't make your own businesses, if you can't be an entrepreneur, then shop at black businesses, buy black brands."
Okay, yeah, sure. Like,
and I'm like, that's, you know, he's saying like, yeah, not everybody can be as rich as I am. Not everybody can start their own business, right. But you can do things to help the cause, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
okay, yeah. There are things that you could do to help, yeah, the cause. Yeah. There's also like. There is a part of me, and this is probably the more controversial take, I would say, the hot take, and I know so.
Are you gonna get into a white ethno state at this point, and then we're gonna have to cut off the stream?
It's not necessarily white ethno state. I'm not gonna even bring up like white people as it is, because clearly white people have a leg up in the society. It's a majority white society, so there's already an implicit favorability there. Plus, there's just the generational advantages that go along with that.
Yeah.
But I can imagine, like, think about like if like Andrew Yang dropped a song about like Asian entrepreneurs, like,
What?
or like if
Are you trying to say this is racist? Because
not that it's racist. It's just it like doesn't it. Like it just feels a little forced. It's already a song that like it is not super inspiring the way it is, even like in its intention.
So it was like it's almost like propaganda. You're saying?
Yeah, it almost feels like propaganda. It feels like
Okay.
It feels like I'm going to like a NSBE conference. Like it's a National Society of Black Engineers. And they're trying to hype up.
I'm glad
the crowd.
you explained what that is because I had no idea what the fuck you were talking about.
and they're trying to hype up the crowd, trying to hype up these young professionals to like start up their own companies, which is perfectly admirable cause. But it almost sounds like the people running the conference put together this song to
what?
help,
Okay,
like,
yeah,
inspire
I agree with you because it does. I didn't see what your point was when you said Andrew Yang, but I understand now that like this does sound like propaganda, and I do agree with what they're saying. Like I think it's a good message or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does sound like propaganda.
Like,
and
yeah, I mean, I've been to conferences where like it's about supporting Hispanic. I mean, the one I went to was not entrepreneurship; it was more like financial stuff. But like, still, it was like, like make sure like to like inspiring us to like cut out this generational loop of like Hispanics being lower wage earners or whatever. But yeah, no, it just seems like it wasn't inspired enough. It just like
I think that they were just like, we should make a song about black entrepreneurs, and this is what they came out with. And like they weren't necessarily inspired to do it. They were just like, we need to make a song about this or something.
Yeah.
And like they didn't really have a song. But I'm shitting on the song. I did like Jay-Z's verse on it. I think it was better than Pharrell at least.
Yeah.
It was decent. And I did like the ending. I liked when the horns came in. Like at the ending it kind of like there was like a different chord structure in it, like there was different chord changes, and there was like some horns that came in that were pretty like celebratory and kind of like bigger. I like that part.
I mean, another aspect is like I don't think this song will age very well. Assuming that, let's say, black people in this country do end up like getting ahead and having more successful businesses and stuff in the future. This song would sound differently played in the future.
Well, I think they would just be like, "Oh, this is from a time when we didn't have
right." But like that doesn't come across in the song. A song like, let's say, like James Brown's "I'm Black, I'm Proud" is not. Nobody's gonna accuse that song of being like about a black supremacy, for instance, because like
I mean, Fox News would.
Yeah, I guess, but like you listen to "I'm Black, I'm Proud" from James Brown, and like you can hear that there's a struggle that like they're trying to overcome, that like they are being put down, and you need to be proud about who you are. Don't let them like bring down your pride. But like I feel like with this is like doesn't have that. It's more like it's encouraging, but it doesn't. There's no background instilled in either the music or the lyrics.
It feels forced. It feels like they wanted to make a song with this message, but they didn't have an idea for a song.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z, I think, did this a lot better on 444. There was a bunch of songs with the same message that were actually good songs.
Yeah, I mean, you listen to the song, the OJ song, whatever, Story of OJ.
Yeah, so
and like in there, he very clearly points out, like, hey, we've been fucked. We've been fucked over, and like,
and what we need to do to overcome it.
Yeah, and like this one, I feel like it's lacking in that, and I feel like it really suffers from it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we talked a lot about this one. It's not great.
Yeah. All right. Cool. We have another one over here. The Killers just released a new album. It's called
Killers.
It's called what is it called? Dying Breed.
That's a new album, right?
It's a new album.
Is that the song too?
That's also the song that I picked out. Yeah, the title song from it.
So the Killers. So brief synopsis of the Killers.
Yeah, brief synopsis of the Killers. The Killers are a band. Their first album came out in 2004. We've been toying around with the idea of doing a show about the Killers, but we still have to fully define what the show.
Comment on here. Tell us if you want us to do about an episode about the Killers' first album, Hot Fuss.
Yeah. There was also some weird sexual allegations that came out recently, but I don't think we're gonna spend too much time talking about that today. It was just just within ourselves we talked about it. We didn't know exactly how to what to make of it.
But yeah, so Killers were banned from mid 2000s.
Got super popular. Super popular.
New wave influence, synth pop influence.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I mean, that was a big thing that was going on at the time.
Yeah, part of that 80s inspired indie music. And they're also known for some of they got some unforgettable but very strange lines like "Are we human?" or "Are we dancer?" I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. There's definitely
they got lines, yeah.
So we're gonna listen to the song though, "Dying Breed." See if they meet.
They still got it.
Yeah, they still got it. Oh, we're just listening to "Dying Breed" from the Killers. What'd you think about that one?
I like that one. That was actually pretty interesting because at first it had a very krautrock feel to it. It sounded like Noi, like the song "Hollow Gallo." Like it sounded almost exactly like that. The rhythm of it, the drums.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that song's like one chord for 10 minutes kind of thing, but this one had chord changes and shit. So, but it had a pretty it had a krautrock beat for the first half, but then it changes into a Bruce Springsteen song.
It does feel like a Bruce. Yeah, I can
like a Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah, I can get you on that. I don't know if this was the song that had the War on Drugs, and there's a lot of features on this album. I was looking at. There was.
But while you're looking that up, I think it works though. It's very similar, almost to the point of a ripoff, but I feel like they put enough of their own spin on it that it's unique enough, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think what's his name singing? Brandon Flowers, is that the lead singer?
Oh wait, Dying Breed does contain excerpts of Hollow Gallo.
Oh, so they sampled it.
So they sampled it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And they also sampled Moonshake from Khan as well.
Oh, okay. Also, so yeah, they were doing a krautrock thing.
Yeah, there was.
That's great. I thought because it sounded so much like Hollow Gallo, I'm like, wow, they're really just ripping it off at this point. But they sampled it, so.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, Adam Granducio from War on Drugs is on this album, but it doesn't. At least the article that I'm reading right now. The Wikipedia page.
The article.
It doesn't tell me which songs he particularly appears on. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was on this one, considering the Bruce Springsteen vibe that goes on towards the end.
Yeah, but yeah, I like that switch up that it was very krautrock influence, and then it switches into that Bruce Springsteen big grand Bruce Springsteen gesture.
Right. Yeah. This song kind of reaffirms to me. I don't know how people take this probably different ways, but it feels like the Killers are aging like Weezer.
So bad.
Yeah, so that's essentially the reaction that I feel like would get. It's Weezer. The fact that we're still talking about Weezer shows that they have some sort of relevance.
That is an interesting thing. Is why do we still talk about Weezer? Because it's pretty much agreed that everything they made after Pinkerton is not good, or at least a lot of the stuff they made after Pinkerton is
bad. It's not great, I would say.
But why are they so relevant?
No, I mean that's the whole thing is whether the stuff that is good is the more debatable topic, and they have been able to maintain an audience, whether it's because they're still relatable, whether they're just poppy enough, whether I don't know exactly what it is that keeps Weezer around, but they do, like they have a very particular set of people that they attract, and it spans across age groups, really.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Killers are probably doing something similar. I feel like it
You think
sounds
they're trying
that way.
to have the, or it's like, or you think
I don't
they're
think
trying to
I don't
have
think
the
they're trying to be like Weezer
because they haven't been as well. To be fair, I don't think they've been successful as successful as Weezer in any respect because their highest highs weren't in popularity. Their highest highs in popularity weren't as high as Weezer's. So
would you say that? I don't know. The Killers were pretty popular back in 2004, 2005.
they were popular. Well, I don't think they ever got as high critically or in popularity as Weezer did.
Not as high critically. I'll give you that. In hindsight, I would say they were like undervalued critically. At least their first
Yeah.
album. At least it's just my opinion on that.
I think they have the same trajectory, but like, just Weezer went higher.
Right.
Than the Killers.
Right, but like it has surprised me that people still listen to the Killers.
That's surprised me too because the Killers, like Weezer has maintained a pretty relatively high profile throughout their career. But the Killers, like, they dipped down pretty low, but like they've still been like they're still going and like they're still kind of relevant and people still kind of talk about them.
Right.
Like throughout their career. So they have managed to maintain a career that's like moderately successful.
Yeah, and I think maybe part of it is just like, I don't know exactly what it is. I know the music, this definitely sounds like they've gone in a more pop accessible sound. Not that they were ever not accessible, but like,
I think this song, I don't think this is any more accessible than any of their other shit. If anything, it's maybe a little less. This song specifically.
You think so? Maybe the intro of it.
Yeah,
but
because
like,
half of it is just a krautrock song, and then maybe the second half because
but it has like that little piano that like also like plays out the melody after.
Yeah,
like,
they bring in the pop elements because it's still the Killers.
Yeah.
But like they put some pretty like interesting shit in there that's not super accessible. And even like the Bruce Springsteen part, I mean Bruce Springsteen was huge, but it's not like that's a sound people are looking for right now.
No, I guess not. I mean, well, the war on drugs is kind of like, I guess I would say they're past their peak. I would say honestly, but I guess time will tell on that. No, I mean, like I don't know what else to say for myself about this song, except that I think
you
it
like
really,
it?
I enjoyed it. If I was out in a boat, I would definitely like be good with it playing. Like I don't know, like
Did it make you interested in listening to the album?
No.
Dude, that's harsh. Because I like listening to this. I was actually like, oh, this is pretty good. I'm actually, and it's also different enough because with the Killers, I thought they would just be rehashing the same sound they had in 2005, but it's actually different enough it's different enough that I'm like interested to see what they're doing because like this is pretty interesting for the Killers. Like I'd want to see what this album sounds like.
Like the only way, like this definitely doesn't set me off on a negative side, but it doesn't attract me enough to the project for me to be like, I want more of this. I feel like the only reason I would check it out, the only way I would check it out is if like enough people, either online or in person, give it like high marks. If there's recommendations to like, yeah, you should check it out. I mean, because that's the only way I ever check out a Weezer album these days.
Yeah.
Because people telling me like, oh, you should really check out the White Album. The White Album's actually pretty good. And like, actually, I actually don't like the White Album that much.
Bad example.
But it's an example of how I checked out an album. There's other Weezer albums though that people have like pushed me to, and I'm like, oh, that's not so bad. Like the one with like the monster crawling from behind the mountains. I forget the title of that one. That one's okay. That one's not a bad album. But once again, it's not like, I don't know. I don't fall into that Weezer super fan category.
Yeah.
Same way that I don't really fall into the Killers super fan category.
I think you like the Killers more than Weezer though. Like you're a pretty big fan of the Killers, at least their first album.
I don't know if I like them more than Weezer, but I am a big fan of their first two albums. But same thing with Weezer. I'm also a fan with the first two albums. And this is weird. I never thought that the Killers would be. I would be talking about the Killers comparing them to Weezer like this, but
I mean,
you know,
they've had and when you look at them, they have the same career trajectory.
Right, right. What a weird turn of events. Wow.
Well, I think it's a good song. To listen to it, take a listen to the album. I'm interested.
All right. We're going to go on to some newer artists. This next one over here is from Rico Nasty, a woman that I just found out was a woman just very recently.
That sounded really bad. She's a rapper who she's been in the game for a few years now. She's made some waves. She made an album with producer Kenny Beats. I don't know if you know who he is, but
nope.
But he's a rap producer that's also pretty big. He made albums with Vince Staples.
I know him. Yeah.
He's worked with a lot of big rappers. So he made an album with Rico Nasty a few years ago called Anger Management. So
was it Angry?
Yes.
Okay.
So Rico Nasty's style up until now has been, very aggressive, lots of screaming, that kind of like angry aggressive shit. Kind of like SoundCloud rap, like Triple
X Tentacion.
Yeah, like his more aggressive shit, like kind of like that kind of shit. But this song, iPhone, is different. It's kind of a different sound, a different vibe. And it was also produced by Dylan Brady from 100 Gex.
Ooh, 100 Gex. We reviewed them a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Ringtone, which is one of the best songs of the decade, I think.
Hey, the decade just started, so
Well, so far it's one of the best. So.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that definitely sounds like a different vibe altogether.
So yeah, let's take a listen to it.
Can't imagine Triple X Tentacion doing 100 Gex. All right, let's listen to the song. This song just came out. It's called iPhone from Rico Nasty. All right, we just listened to iPhone from Rico Nasty.
So I really like that song a lot.
Go ahead.
And I think it's an interesting thing that Rico Nasty does that I just noticed, that I think she's really good at like getting in on trends or like current fads in music. Not fads, but like current trends in music.
She malleable.
Yeah, she's very malleable
like
because
Madonna.
I don't know the reference.
Okay.
I don't listen to Madonna.
Madonna tends to be a chameleon. She
might be like Madonna, I guess, in that sense. But Rico, like, she started off. Well, I know in the very early beginning she did a little bit more. She wasn't always as aggressive, but like around the mid 2010s when that super aggressive SoundCloud rap shit was going on, like she was riding that. Like that's how she made her name, was doing that super aggressive, brand of rap music.
Yeah.
But now it seems like she's kind of adopting that PC music hyperpop thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's really a great choice because I think she sounds great on it.
That's the future.
Like I was saying, I feel like she's getting in early on this trend in music that I think is actually going to take off more than it has.
I mean, if PC music is going to take off in this decade, it's taking off now. Like, if it's not taking off now...
But I think it is taking off now.
I mean, I think so, too.
People like Charlie XCX, Caro Bernito, and 100 Gex, like, those three in particular, I think they've gotten pretty fucking big.
Yeah, and, like, that AG Cook release just came out, and I think that's gaining some traction.
I feel like we talk about PC music and hyperpop, like, in every episode. But...
Well, I mean, it's one of my favorite things that's happening in the past few years. So I have no shame about that.
But yeah, I think Rico Nasty's... It's either like, I guess, I don't know. I don't know if she's just really smart getting in on a trend early, or if this is just like the kind of music she likes and she's naturally going towards it. I'd probably go for the latter. I think she just likes this music and she's naturally going towards this music.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Because she was also on Ringtone.
Oh,
right.
She
was featured on that song, so she's been with 100 Gex before. And, I think she's really good on this song. Production wise, music wise, it's like, it sounds like 100 Gex. It has that very kind of glitchy, kind of, hyperpop PC music sound to it. The only thing I don't really like is the way her voice is manipulated in the chorus. I don't really like the way it sounds. I think it works in the song, but I don't know. It's a little.
Which one is the chorus? I was trying to figure out, like, what is the? To me, it was more like there's a first section, a second section, and then the third section is just a repeat of the first section.
I think the first section, like
Okay. I mean, that was probably the most prominent part of like the song.
yeah, I don't really like the way her voice is manipulated in that part, but I mean, it doesn't kill the song for me. I still really like the song, but it's that manipulation is a little grating for me.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of like the way the voice was manipulated. It gave me a little bit of too much throwbacks to, um, like the T-Pain era. When there was a lot of voice manipulation, but not. It wasn't always done very well. Sometimes it seemed a little gimmicky.
Yeah, that's when they first started using it heavy.
Right, but like I don't know if this was like the best voice manipulation. It feels it almost struck me as somewhat like, yeah, we'll manipulate your voice and then but not giving too much thought into like how to.
It's just like it seemed like it was just like too much. Like they needed to tone it back a little bit.
Yeah,
It's like they threw it on and they didn't.
Right, and I don't know how well it fit the what's going on in the song. I don't like because also like this song is a little odd because usually most people who adopt the PC music style tend to have more whether it's like more shy personalities or not as like they're not personas that are so forward as Rico Nasty might be. I feel like Rico Nasty.
But that's what I like about it.
I mean, I like the fact that I like the single a lot more in theory than I do in practice. I feel like
you didn't like the song very much.
I didn't like I I don't dislike the song, but like I do feel like it could have been done better. Like I didn't like the way the guitars were mixed in for the aggression in that first part. I really like the middle part because also her voice is manipulated differently, and the music itself is not. Even I mean the guitars are not there anymore, and it's just a different segment altogether. And I like that part. I mean, I would say that part maybe sounds a lot more like some of the other PC music style songs. And I know that the guitar, the more aggressive part, is the one that kind of makes the song a little bit more distinct. But I just think that it could have been. I don't know exactly like what would have been done differently. I mean, like like the voice maybe, but like I feel like also like the way the guitars were mixed in. Like I remember when we did that song Booty Spice coming out soon. You put a guitar solo in there, and I was like, no, something's off about this guitar. Like let's throw it in through like a little. I don't even remember what kind of effect you added to it.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, but it like to me it made all the difference. Like it just like gave off a different vibe, and I feel like the guitars over here, I feel like it could have also like had a little. It could have been treated differently. But that's my take on the song. I mean, I guess it is very critical, but I like the fact that this song exists and that this project was done, and I hope that she's taking this in earnest and not just trying to ride a wave, because
I mean, it seems to me like she actually likes this type of music, and I really hope that she continues to make this kind of music because I think she does it well, and. I think it works well for her, and I'd like to see like an entire album of music that sounds like this.
It would be interesting for sure. Okay, so then that was Rico Nasty with a song called iPhone. Right now we're gonna come to did we call this guy a singer-songwriter? Either way, it's Father John Misty. Most of you probably have heard of him by now, but if you haven't,
I feel like Father John Misty. I feel like he's kind of a polarizing figure in like indie music.
I guess slightly.
Because some people hate him, some people love him.
I think like
we kind of fall into that dichotomy because I love him and you don't.
I'm not like a huge fan, but I give him credit where credit's due. He used to be the drummer of Fleet Foxes, then he hit it solo, and I appreciate that he like went out on his own. I do sometimes criticize him for like I mean, maybe this is undeserved for like I feel like sometimes he does bite off more than he can chew.
Well, like his album Pure Comedy, which I do love, but if you're gonna criticize him for biting off more than he can chew, I could say on that album, you could say that about it.
Right. But then again, I also appreciate when an artist pushes themselves beyond what their what their capacities are. Yeah. You know, how do you grow otherwise? But Father John Misty, I guess something else is like kind of polarizing about him is that he's not a beta male. I feel like he has an alpha.
He's a Chad.
He's a bit of a Chad.
Yeah.
And in the indie community, I feel like that rubs some people the wrong way.
How is he an alpha?
He can be self-critical. So like there's that. See, I don't think
every song he makes is self-critical. Every song he
but
he's self-deprecating in every song.
But I feel like there's still so much confidence in like what he does, and also like in his relations with his partner. He doesn't seem like a submissive character. Let's say.
I mean, I don't know why you're bringing in his relationship.
I mean, that's part of like what makes like somebody.
What do you know about his fucking relationship?
It's just things you can like draw out. This is just like the perception of him. I mean, like
I think
also like the way that he like like visually seems. He's just very, he has like very good posture. I don't know. He goes by Father John Misty. First of all, I mean that's the kind of persona that he has. He just seems like kind of like, to me he kind of strikes me like he could be the leader of a cult. Like
to me, like I think the kind of energy you're talking about that he has is, I don't know if anybody's gonna know what I'm talking about, but like kind of like 70s postmodernist author energy. Like
definitely
where I have a fucking English degree, so fucking I don't know.
Are you talking about like Thomas Pynchon? Is that who?
Yeah, Thomas Pynchon. I love Thomas Pynchon. So but things like that and Philip Roth and shit, where it's like I think they tend to write the same way that Father John Misty writes, where there's a lot of self-deprecating shit, and in postmodern movement in general is a lot of like questioning things that were seen as like just objective truths and things that seem obvious, and a lot of questioning yourself and stuff, and seeing the absurdity in normal things, if that makes sense. And but like, so a lot of that comes with like, you're questioning yourself and then seeing the faults in yourself and making fun of it, but then also that comes with a confidence of like, oh yeah, I'm questioning shit and you're not, kind of thing. Maybe kind of that air, even though if you're not directly saying that, it might come off as that.
It's a bit of that.
Yeah.
But also he criticizes other people too. It's not like,
what does he criticize?
What in like, even in that album that you brought up, like the
In Pure Comedy.
In Pure Comedy, he's talking about like the faults of man, just as a whole.
But it's not like he's criticizing one person. He's criticizing all of the world.
Well, in Father John Misty, he's criticizing like the woman that he's like, falling in love with. Like, she's not a perfect character, and like he makes that known in like his lines. Is this like not obvious? I don't know.
What do you mean? Because like,
I mean, I don't.
Is
have
he
the
not allowed
word
to
sheet
criticize other people?
No, it's not that he's not allowed. It's just that the fact that he does, like, already, like, that's more Chad than not, I would say. Like,
I feel like he criticizes himself way more than he criticizes other people.
Maybe that is true, but like he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that you can walk all over. Like
I'll agree. Sure, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm getting so defensive about this. Like, I have any stake in him.
I'm just saying he's not the typical character you'll find in the indie community.
He's not the typical indie guy. He's also a lot older, I think, than a lot of...
Probably a little bit, yeah.
Because, he was in Fleet Foxes, which was a bit, at this point, a bit of an older band.
Yeah.
And he didn't make his own career until, like, after that. I think he's in his 40s now.
I don't know if he's in his 40s, but he's at least knocking on 40, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, he has his new single called 2R. He also has one called 2S. I'm assuming they represent people.
This is his first new like original music since his last album. I think it was called God's Favorite Customer. That came out. Don't fucking remember. So a few years ago, I think like 2018 maybe 2017, something like that.
Yeah. All right. So let's give it a spin. Let's see how it is. All right. So we just finished listening to R.
2R by Father John Misty. So tell me what you think about that one.
Well, I couldn't really make out too much of the lyrics, to be frank, even like when I try to pay attention. So I can't tell you about that aspect, but musically, I think it's redundant. I think Father John Misty has a very particular way of songwriting. He has a weird cadence and like these preferred chords that he uses, and you get more of that in this song. They're nice and they fit the mood, and I think that's why he still uses them. But I've heard them before, and so and musically, besides that, I didn't find the instrumentation very interesting.
Yeah,
really.
I think what you say about it being redundant is correct, because I tried listening to the lyrics to figure out what was going on, but it just seemed very vague, more vague than he usually is, because usually his lyrics are pretty like upfront and like
his lyrics are usually like you can actually understand them.
Yeah, like he's usually telling a story or talking about something that you could like follow pretty clearly. That he's not usually writing about something abstract or
not like his other Fleet Foxes people. Like,
it's not anything usually. Like he a lot of times he'll talk about lofty things and stuff like that, but like he writes it in a straightforward way.
In a way that you can understand. Yeah.
Like this was pretty vague. I didn't even really know what he was talking about.
I feel like he might have written the song to R, or whoever the hell R is.
Yeah.
And like he might have written it vague enough so that like only R, like maybe for that person it was clear that they were talking to them.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something about that whole vagueness thing. There was one time that one of my exes wrote something. It was like an end of the year little thing, and she wrote like a message to about like 10 of the closest people to her that past year, and we had broken up, and I figured that she would have included me in there, but I read through the 10 messages and I couldn't figure out which one was directed to me, and it literally wasn't until like 7 years later that like I was like, oh, she meant that one. And well, I don't know what it was about like my state of mind at the time, but I didn't think
Wait,
that
was
she
it like a good message or a bad message?
It was a surprisingly good message. Like she has said something about along the lines of like I hope you see the qualities that in yourself that like that make you a special person or something.
And
like
you're
that.
like, nothing about me is special, so she can't be talking about me.
No, I mean what I was thinking about is that I didn't have like sure. I mean everybody has some self-esteem doubts, but like I didn't have major self-esteem issues at the time. I didn't. That
didn't happen until like recently.
I mean, I just wasn't feeling like, I thought there would be other friends in her life that like that message would have been more important for, but like now I understood 7 years on in context.
Why didn't she just send the messages to each person individually?
I don't know.
Like, wait, what did she do? Did she send every message to everybody?
Why did this guy write a song, release it to the public, and direct it to a singular person?
Well, let's just talk about the song. So yeah, lyrically, it was too vague for me, and musically, you're right. It was pretty redundant. It sounds like something that could have been on Pure Comedy or maybe God's Favorite Customer, one of those albums. And the thing with Father John Misty is that musically, his stuff most of the time, I don't know. I think it's about 50-50. Sometimes his music, I think, is pretty interesting.
Yeah, like musically. If he has like he's had like Mexican horns in his songs.
Yeah, like he'll do interesting stuff. But sometimes his music is is fine, but it's a vehicle for his lyrics, and
Yeah.
then the lyrics is what makes it better.
Yeah.
And then in this song, it felt like if the lyrics were good, it would have been good, but the lyrics were too vague, and the music didn't, make it any better. So it kind of just, I don't know, it's like middling.
I mean, I'm not a very lyrically driven person. Like if there's a song that I like, the lyrics can matter. But if the song itself doesn't bring me in, I really don't care if the lyrics are good or not.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Unless the lyrics like really strike me, I don't care. Like the song has to be good.
Right. Right. Unless it's like it has to be something like just like completely like shocking or something like that. But even then, like like just put some good music to it.
Yeah.
Like otherwise just go write a book or like go tweet or something. I don't know. Like what are you doing in the music world if you're not making good music?
Yeah, I don't know. This song, I want to hear whatever next music he makes if he makes a new album because I'm a fan. But
Yep.
this shit's not. I don't know. It's not his best. I wasn't into it.
Yeah, I mean, if in my opinion, it's probably just a one-off single, just because it's a 2S, 2R. I mean, the only way I can see it being tying well into a whole album is if he literally has an entire alphabet of an album.
Well, yeah, I think this is if he makes an album soon, I don't think these songs would be on there. But
Maybe we're wrong. I don't know. Maybe they're the intro and outro to
yeah,
the album. I don't know. All right. You have anything else to say about it?
no,
All right, cool. This last one is by Bright Eyes. Is they have a new album that just came out. Although they've been putting out singles.
yeah. Bright Eyes, their album "I'm Wide Awake" is It's Morning is my go-to sad album. Whenever I'm sad, I like to put that album on to make me sadder.
Oh, good to know.
It's I really like it a lot.
They're from Omaha. Who knew that Omaha had an indie scene? But if there's been, have there been weirder cities? I don't know.
Then Omaha.
Yeah, like I guess for like an indie scene to come out.
What's the place that REM came out of? There's some place in Georgia, Athens, Georgia.
Athens, Georgia.
That's like why.
I feel like nowadays it's not as weird.
I think
but
the B-52s were from Athens too.
And REM and the entire Elephant Six collective was based out of Athens, Georgia.
Yeah, so like that's a pretty weird musical collective in like fucking some random place in Georgia. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, some of those people came from across the South. But still, yeah, I guess especially back then, it would have been like, really, Athens, Georgia is where this is going from? But yeah, no, these guys from Omaha, Nebraska. And yeah, Bright Eyes, they have a new album. They've been around for a while. I would say they're, if Father John Misty is knocking on 40, these guys are probably knocking on 50.
Yeah.
And let's see, I picked out, which song did I pick out? I picked the song To That's Heart. In 3 parts. It hasn't been a single. I don't know if it'll be a single, but it sounded a little interesting.
How long is this song?
It's a 5-minute song. Yeah. Okay. We'll listen to this song and then we'll get back to you in just a second. That was Bright Eyes.
What's the song called?
It's called To Death's Heart in 3 parts.
Was that the last song on the album?
No, it's not actually. It sounds like it could be like a finisher, right?
Yeah.
But no, there's 2 more songs after that.
Okay.
It's kind of a longish album, 54 minutes.
So, yeah, I thought the song was cool. I don't know. What do you think?
I like the song. I mean, at least I liked it more than like some of the other songs I kind of sampled. I like maybe it might be a little bit too, I guess, too long is probably the way to describe it. Like I think taking itself too seriously is not it's not as fantastical to earn it the length that it has. But I did like what it has, and I like the guitar solo that came in, or was that a guitar? I don't even know. In the middle and towards the end.
Yeah,
of
I
the
do like it. It does. The song does build. Like it starts out. It's like one of those slow burners. It starts slow and then kind of builds into this big crescendo. Those guitars that you're talking about I do like those guitars a lot too. They kind of sound like synthesizer ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like those guitar solos that comes.
I mean, I'm also not coming from. I never really listened to Bright Eyes, so like I don't know how to compare it to like their usual stuff.
I mean, This I don't. I mean, I've listened to a little bit of Bright Eyes. And from the shit I've listened to, I mean, I know they've changed their style a lot. But the shit that I like from them that I listen to is the stuff that's like more folksy slash country ish. Like that album I like is mostly a lot of like folk country kind of stuff on there.
Mm.
But I know they've done stuff like this before. Uh, I don't know. And also like they're a band that I like to like sit down and listen to their lyrics a lot. And I
Okay.
didn't really do that much with this. So I don't know. I'm not really checking for any new Bright Eyes shit. Honestly, I don't.
It's
I'm
really
really
just what it comes down to.
the song's fine. It's just that I don't really care to listen to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just like that's like a personal bias, I guess. And like,
I mean, the music industry is a bit ageist, I would say. Like, once you've been in the game for long enough, people just don't care as much, Like, yeah, I mean, the sound
because it's like I've already like I mean just on that point like it might be unfair. But it's just like I've heard your shit already. Like if you're not gonna make anything better than what you've made before, like why am I still listening?
right, yeah, and yeah, like I mean, the way that this sounds, yeah, it sounds groundbreaking in like 2005. Like like it's, I mean nowadays it's not like it's completely like. I would say it's a bit out of face with like what's
I think if you like this
right
type of music, you'll like it. Like
yeah,
I think it's good for what it is.
yeah,
It's
it delivers. But it's if you're trying to look into this kind of sound that wouldn't start here.
yeah.
Is really more like it's for the people who are already into this.
Yeah, if you're a Bright Eyes fan, you'll like it.
Yeah.
I think you'll be like, oh, this is good Bright Eyes. And, for all intents and purposes, it is good Bright Eyes. But,
Right. Yeah. But do you say that's a good thing or a bad? I don't know. Is the market too saturated?
for what?
Like, all these bands that are still continuing and like they feel like they need to put out new music in order to keep touring. Or maybe they just
I don't think they feel like they need to put out new music because Bright Eyes hadn't put out new music in a while.
Yeah.
At least Bright Eyes, like the guy Connor Earlburst has other musical projects that he's been doing, but I don't think he's put out something as Bright Eyes for a while. But yeah, I mean, people like him. I mean, they have a core fan base and they have a catalog to pull from. So I don't think he had to do anything he didn't want to. Like he could not release anything for the rest of his life, and he could still tour for the rest of his life. I mean, there's no tours right now, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So I mean, I'm guessing he probably did just feel like he has something to release. Yeah, in this world, there's just so much music to listen to, and with that in consideration, I would just be like, I don't know, maybe move on to something else. There are a lot of musicians though that participated in this project.
That's all the musicians.
These are all musicians.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Why?
And one of them is Flea. Flea actually.
What song is he on?
He played bass on this song actually.
Oh really?
Yeah. And I'm trying to look up over here because I know that the guy from the Mars Volta also performed on here. I don't know where I saw it, but but he's a drummer from the Mars Volta. So I was hoping it would be like maybe like a guitarist or something, but yeah, no, that's surprising. So many people were involved in this. It seems to have gotten some decent ratings throughout. So I think I would just put it in that like it delivers for people who are into this kind of sound. But I wouldn't recommend starting off on this sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll do it for us on this episode.
That
was new music for this week. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Smash all those buttons. Tell us that you love us, please. We want to hear some positive things. What was that comment that we got on Reddit for our Linkin Park video?
Oh yeah, somebody told us that we're just two guys who don't know what we're doing, just trying to get YouTube famous. And honestly,
yeah,
same. And all right, we'll catch us another time when we review new music. Catch us another time when we talk about any particular album or band or
Click the
etc.
bell to make sure that you get notifications of all our videos and help us get YouTube famous. I don't like having a real job.
You know, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I don't know. I don't know why this guy talks about it like it's the
Having a
an
job?
awesome thing. Yeah, it's like, oh, you guys want to be a YouTube star? It seems like not a bad
Seems
thing.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter at Blood on the Mic 1, on Instagram at Blood on the Mic. Follow me on Twitter at Torno Lewis. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.